Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another episode of Let's Discuss, and today I have a very special guest with me, Hardcore KEEM baby. How are you?
What's up? Back in the building.
Yeah, we were just talking about, we did a collab. We did, I think, was it Snowblood by Era that we did on my channel? And then
That is correct.
The Devil Wears Prada Watchtower on your channel.
Yep.
And then we had to get a episode, podcast, whatever these things are called. I feel like a lot of stuff like this people call podcast.
Yeah, that's the new wave. We go on a podcast.
We're on a podcast. Let's go. I've made like 3 episodes not even knowing that they're podcasts.
Hey, there you go. You have to keep the train rolling.
Podcast. Here we are. So what has been going on with you since we've done that video? A lot of stuff has been going on with you. You've joined the Browning, right, as their bassist?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
How did that come to be? Like, you know a lot of people in the scene, obviously, and stuff, but like actually joining a band is a big deal.
Okay, so it's like kind of a crazy story, but not kind of a crazy story. So I had the vocalist Johnny. He did a podcast. I got on one of his podcasts. It was like COVID, and he had my number. And then 2022, it was like in January, he had texted me about a band, and I checked out the band. And then randomly, like, we just kept talking, and he was like, "Hey, you want to play bass for a tour?" I'm like, "What?" He was like, "You want to play bass?" And I was like, "Yeah," because it's like the Browning. Like, he knows I've always been like a fan. Like, every time they came to my city, always seen them. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So we did the tour. It was like a 14-day tour, and 2022, I loved it. They liked me in it, and he was like, "Hey, you want to be in the band?" And I was like, "All right."
Holy, that is crazy. What a cool,
Yeah,
like, full circle moment, too. Like,
it
always
really
seeing them.
is such a full circle.
That probably makes it easier, too, since well, obviously you still have to learn the songs in, like, a different manner,
Right.
but being familiar with them versus being like, yeah, I'll join this band. Let me just
Yeah.
listen and see what you sound like. And yeah, that probably, does it make you feel like when you're on stage, do you play some of the songs that like you have seen before live when you would go see them?
Yeah. So actually, the first song, I think like I don't think it was one of the first couple songs I've heard. It was like "Time Will Tell." So that's like one of the first songs I ever heard. So when I found out we was like playing that, it's like the first time I played it, I'm like, it brought a tear to my eye. I'm like, dang, this is
Aw.
real. Like, this is really real.
That
So
is
like
so
it hit
cool.
me. Yeah, it's still crazy to this day, and I'll always refer to like the Browning in like third person, and he keeps on getting on me. He's like, "You can say we." I'm like, "I can't."
Oh, that's probably so weird, but so cool.
Yeah,
Congratulations. I think when it
thank
first
you,
happened, I said that, but it's still such a cool thing to see you go,
thank you.
like, doing your thing and then also seeing all these pictures and stuff of you on
Yeah,
stage and stuff. It looks like a good time. I missed that show here, but hopefully you guys will come through. We could do like an in-person podcast.
in person podcast.
Yeah, like
That's
the
right.
have you ever watched The Downbeat with Craig Reynolds?
Yes, I think I just seen his one he did with Ollie from
Yes.
Static Dress. Yeah.
Yes. So I saw you're checking out that, like, kind of segues into something I wanted to talk about. The Downbeat
Mhm.
is awesome. If you're watching this and you haven't checked out the Downbeat podcast, definitely do it. The Static Dress episode is like 2.5 hours long or something, and it is a
Mhm.
fantastic watch. It's super
Yeah.
interesting. But Static Dress with their Redux album. Redux is like the new thing. But these songs, I'm not sure if you listened to. What did they just drop? They dropped the glitter version of. I'm all forgetting. It just came out the other day. I saw you did videos for Such a Shame,
Mhm.
the cigarette lullaby version or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Um, And then Courtney Just Relax with
Mm,
World of Pleasure.
yeah.
But the newest one, Descent, yeah, that's right. It's Dissenter. And they did this glitter redux version of it. And it sounds like a completely different song.
Really, I gotta check it out because Static Dress is one of those really underrated bands that they are so good, and they bring back that emo MySpace sound that is like a lost art form.
It scratches such a specific itch, and I think a lot of people like kind of resonate with that, like, oh, this reminds me. But they have like such a new, it's like a breath of fresh air into that sound because of their, some of their, they go for a more raw approach intentionally sometimes, but some of it is just so clean sounding and you're like, whoa, this is like all grown up but hasn't changed that much type of thing.
Yeah, I like when you said like it scratches a specific itch. Like I say that all the time on like when I listen to music, but I don't think people actually get it. It's when you listen to one of those type songs, it you get out of the moment and it puts you in your younger self.
That is
That I
exactly
you know.
it.
Okay, you
That's
understand.
yes. For so another band, Psycho Frame. If you've checked, yes, they
That AP's
have
on the channel.
another one for MySpace deathcore though. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
other side of MySpace music, I feel like is like that MySpace deathcore sound, and the same thing. Like it has that very like a weak breath of modernization, but so much of it is focused around that like original like raw
Raw
sound.
sound. Yeah, yeah. Hey, yo, Sacrifame, if you see this, where's my jersey? Bought it. I'm still waiting for it.
Oh, I'm rocking the Psycho Frame shirt right
I
now.
was gonna ask. I was like, what is that band? Because I know they did
Yes.
the Gundam collab, and I was like, is it Psycho Frame?
Oh
Dude, that's
yeah.
so sad.
It came out so good. It's got like the big logo on the back and everything.
That's amazing.
It came out incredibly. It won't ship until like October or something, but they
Mm,
pressed that vinyl and I just can't help myself. So I got the
hey, I
one of the
understand.
limited, and it was so competitive to get that vinyl. Like anything that goes through like Wax Vessel,
Oh,
Wax Mage,
yeah.
label, like I was sitting there refreshing my page a whole minute before and I still did not get like the most limited. I got one of the ones that's out of 100 though, which
Hmm.
I was happy with.
There you go. Yeah,
But my people were
yeah.
ready. It was insane. They just did another merch drop too yesterday, I think it
Hmm.
dropped, and one of the tees has a brain scan on it that is actually Hunter's brain scan, and all of the
Right.
proceeds, and there's a hoodie with it too. All the proceeds go towards his medical bills. So
Hmm.
I grabbed one of those too.
Hold on, I'm gonna check that out. I didn't know they dropped more. That's actually
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And there's like a red and black tee as well on there it is sick. They're doing some good merch too. And the post said that they will have more music by the end of the year out.
That's like they drop an EP. Would they gonna drop another EP?
Yeah, I
That's
think
crazy.
I'm pretty sure that's what the Instagram caption said. It was like new
Mm,
merch drop coming, also new EP before the like late this year or something.
that's crazy. Yeah, they only they only got 4 months left, so they got 4 months to drop that EP.
Not a long wait. I feel we are in like this, I don't know. It feels so weird to use the word era because I just think of the band, but we're like in this time where bands are just putting out music. They are putting out
Mhm.
music and then they turn around and they put out bands that we waited such a long time for between releases. Era
Mhm.
actually is an example of that. They put out self-titled in 2021,
Mhm.
deluxe version, 3 new songs, 3 covers last year, and then they put out Pull from the Ghost last year, and now we have another new single.
Yeah. So like, because I think the release strategy like changed now. It's like single, and then like an EP, and then like single, and then probably like an album.
Yeah,
It's the whole release strategy changed, which I'm here for it
it
because
is.
this is the most music I've ever had from Dead West Prada in so long. So I'm not complaining at all. Um, and just bands that like are coming back. I don't know, Texas in July is also back. So
We've been
I'm
treated.
happy. Yeah.
We have been treated. Now I just need Distinguisher like just broke up, and I'm like, maybe they'll just announce that
Maybe.
they've come back.
Maybe.
I'm losing hope, but I still think about it like way more often than I should. I feel like a lot of people get hung up on like exes and stuff like that, and I get hung up
Mm,
on band breakups. I
yeah.
like picture my,
That's understandable.
you know, um, with the Devil Wears Prada. Is that still your
Mm.
number one, your all time favorite band?
All time favorite band is always will be Devil Wears Prada. They can come out with the crappiest country album, and they'll still be my all time favorite band. Because they're just one of those, one of those. So, like, for you, is Invent Animate your all time favorite band?
Oh yeah, that I feel like that's the equivalent there. It's like my Invent Anime is your The Devil Wears Prada.
Right. It's like one of those, because they was like my gateway band that like changed my whole. I don't think I would be here without Devil Wears Prada. That's they're that type of band, so I can't. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stay loyal.
I get that for sure. And then sometimes people will say, I actually with Heaveners released this year, nobody said a damn thing to me. Nobody was. It used to be like I would say Invent Anime best band in the history of the world, backed by science, and people would be like, no, this band, like obviously I'm kidding and stuff, but now when I say it, people are like, yeah, and I'm like, oh,
But you know what? You can say that.
I
You can
told
you
you.
can say they you can say it's backed by science all you want, because you know what that's to you. Invent Anime is the, what I'm saying, the peak of the peak. They dropped
That's
a
right.
crazy album, by the way, and they're up there. Because like, so the first time I heard Invent Anime was, I don't know if you remember when they dropped Hieroglyphics. This is going way back, like
Ooh.
way
Oh
way back.
yeah, OG stuff.
So yeah. So I used to battle people. So they was like, oh, Northland. I remember. I don't know if you remember when Northland was like the big thing.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, have you guys not heard of Invent Animate? I would always use Invent Animate to be like, yeah, Invent Animate's better.
Oh, I love that. It's just always been such a special sound to me. They obviously have changed a lot. I don't think
Mhm.
when the people listen to stuff like Everchanger, if they're able to get back to the Waves EP and stuff, it's
Yeah.
not gonna be for everyone, but it doesn't sound like a totally different band now. You listen to
Right.
those riffs and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, like
Mhm.
this is that band. And I love that you like have that sort of time frame in there too, because that was
Mhm.
similar. I found them a little bit later. Like Waves EP was out, and Everchanger had just come out, and I was into Era. Era was like one of the
Mhm.
first, like, with the more technical riffs and
Yeah.
stuff that I listened to. I told this story a ton of times on my channel, but like, long story short is I worked at a restaurant after shift one day. One of the delivery drivers was like, come to my car and check out the CD. And I was like, all right, fine, like I'll do it. And the CD was Impulse by Era, and it had just come
Ooh.
out. And I was like, I heard the guitars, I heard Jesse Cash's voice, and I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this? What is this? And so the next year they went out on tour, and it was like, they brought Invent Anime. I'm pretty sure the After Image was on the tour and
Oh
stuff.
my God.
And I didn't listen to Invent before the show. Like I just showed up to see Era, and I showed up early,
Mhm.
and I watched all of the
Mhm.
sets. And as soon as they came on, I was like, what is
You're like,
this?
they are so awesome.
What
Yeah,
is
that's
this? I still have somewhere like one of these super old t-shirt that I bought at that show and stuff, but ever since then, like it's like that love at first listen moment.
yeah, yeah.
And it sticks with you for sure. So it's been cool this year to see such a response. Graveview had a pretty decent response, but there were definitely, it wasn't anywhere near what Heavener was. Like
Yeah.
it's been cool. I feel like both of those bands, the Devil Wears Prada last year with Color Decay, that was very well received too.
That was a great album. That
It
was such a good album, like front to back, and it definitely pulled some strings listening to it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. they age like fine wine because you listen to you listen to some of the stuff off the first two records and stuff, and it's like for some people they're like, what is going on here, what, and you're like, you had to be there, like it still rips to me.
Let's say you had to be there at the time. That's like listening to like Bring Me the Horizon. Like new listeners, they go back and they're like, this is Bring Me the Horizon. You just had to be there.
Dude,
You know what I'm
Chelsea
saying?
Smile.
To fully understand, you had to be there. Like,
It was funny. You had to be like, and at Warped Tour, those were like some of the craziest shows. I still remember I think it was like 2010 or something or like that, and somebody grabbed the Devil Wears Prada flag like out of their set and started hitting people through the crowd with it, like running through, and you could just see people being bulldozed over by this guy, and he made it all the way up to the stage, actually, like the barrier part before the stage, and then security grabbed his ass. But it was people were popping off for that stuff. Bring Me the Horizon shows on Warped Tour were insanity.
They were really good. They were really good live.
Oh yeah,
they deserve everything that's coming to them, to change, to be able to write the music you want and just still grow your fan base. I give it up to Bring Me the Horizon. They doing it well, and to play supposedly going back to a little bit of the roots now with this next album. So
really, I don't think I even knew that.
Oh yeah, and now they're doing collabs. They got Lil Uzi Vert. They got, who else they did? They did it with I think they did a song with Ed Sheeran, right?
I'm pretty sure. I haven't kept up with everything. I do know about Amen because it has like not only Lil Uzi Vert but also Daryl from Glassjaw.
Glassjaw. Yo, I didn't know who Glassjaw was.
My partner
Everyone's like, you know who Glassjaw? I'm like, who's Glassjaw?
That's fair. I feel like before I met my partner, I have never met a bigger Glassjaw fan than my partner. Like we went and saw them actually last year, and it was a good show too, but I never got it. I feel like that's like the whole thing about people's roots and stuff, like what music you were super into, and that was sort of like, there are people who were listening to like The Devil Wears Prada, Bring Me the Horizon's early stuff, and of course there are probably some people who be like, actually I listened to both, and like that makes sense, but there is there's like a Venn diagram, a lot of it is two different sides, and you go into like a more whatever you classify Glassjaw as, but that's like a much different field than like early Bring Me the Horizon and The Devil Wears Prada and
for
stuff.
Sure. So like Devil Wears Prada. All right, so like you said, it's a diagram. So like Devil Wears Prada, let's say Bring Me the Horizon, they're like in the like emo MySpace realm. I think Glassjaw is like hardcore, like it's on another end. So that's where I think people was like, oh, you never heard of them? No, because I grew up in like the emo MySpace era.
And it wasn't the same. Like, finding music now is way different. Like, of course, you can find these bands super easily now, but then it was like, I don't know if you ever like ripped stuff off LimeWire and put it onto onto an iPod, like all these like weird names because you ripped it off LimeWire and stuff. But it wasn't to where you have Spotify or Last FM. And I mean, Last FM actually has been around forever. It's not been as advanced, and even then, advanced is kind of it's kind of being generous there, but. There weren't so many like, oh, you're a fan of this, listen to this. It was more like, oh, you go to this show, you see who's on the Warped Tour lineup, you see who's going out on these other tours, you look at people's MySpace pages and see the top songs and stuff like that. But now everything is so almost overwhelming, I would say, with you're like, oh my god, this band's so good and I need to get them on the playlist, but I need to go back to this and I need to re-listen to this. It's crazy. I can't imagine being in, kind of to circle back what we were talking about before with like the release strategies and stuff. It's overwhelming just as a content creator to keep up sometimes. Like, I just filmed the rest of the EP for Better Lovers today, and I bought a ticket to their headlining show like a month ago. But I was like, I heard one song, I'm going to buy the ticket. I can't miss out on this. But I also like took a bit of a break and stuff, and like, just finding the time to film videos and get everything that everybody wants, which, as you know, is not possible to get everything
It
everybody wants.
is. Thank you. Say that again for the people in the back.
It is impossible. As much as I would love to read every comment and DM where someone's like, you need to, and then people come in sometimes so aggressively, like, what are you doing? I can't believe you haven't checked out insert band that has like 106 followers, and you're like, well, I didn't know until your super rude comment. Like,
yeah. Or they'll comment under your post and be like, the 100th time asking for you to listen to. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's what. Hey, come to the live stream.
Yes, I have not been watching many streams lately until now, which I realized everybody is on Twitch, and now I pull up my Twitch page and I'm like, oh, this and that.
I ain't gonna lie, we probably moving from Twitch. Twitch ain't treating us right. So I don't know.
I just moved on to Twitch too, but YouTube. Are you gonna move back to YouTube, or are you thinking of something else?
So YouTube. So I was originally on YouTube. But like, if you play one wrong song, so like, let's say I play a Tony Danza song, that whole stream will just shut down.
Yeah, and I think that it has actually gotten somehow more strict rather than, because I got my first warning last weekend. Yeah. I've never got a warning on my channel before. It took down my whole, like, it disabled my chat. It was and now every time I log in, I have that like badge of shame that's like, warning, channel violation. Like, I was like,
oh, it's gonna be there for. I still have my warning from 2021 for from, what was that Dark Horse song, Mars Attack. I still have that on my channel. They don't go away. Yeah,
what?
Crazy.
Oh my god! I thought it was gonna be there for like because of the duration. What does this thing even say? It says like, if you get another one, then you get a strike when you can't upload for a week. Like, I'm not.
You get live stream for a week. Yeah.
Active community warning, August 12th. Third party content. Like, yeah, there's a ton of it. If it happens again. Oh, I thought it said if it happens again in 30 days or 90 days or something. It just says if this happens again.
Yeah. If it just happens. That's why I'm like, I really can't stream on YouTube.
Yeah, because
I don't know where I'll go.
With what we do, it like, you know, that's what people want to see us listen to and talk about. Third party content.
Yeah.
That makes me nervous. Yeah, because I can't believe it took me that long to get one. And then it doesn't even tell you where it originated from.
Yeah, where it was from. Yeah.
Don't
Especially
do it again.
They'll be like, yeah, you just did something wrong. Nah, we're not going to look at it. You just did something wrong. Believe us. Trust us.
That is exactly what it looks like. Like, it does not specify a song. Like, of course, sometimes with videos, you're like, hey, X label or X manager person, can you get my video? And that doesn't have any effect. But this live stream violation thing, it was, they're pissed.
Somebody's just watching or something. Like, they're like watching, like, wait a minute, they like check every single song. It has to be. There has to be like some FBI agent. I'd be like, yeah, that song is a no.
The copyright FBI just tuning into every single stream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there has to be.
I've heard things.
They catch it
immediately. Like, you're still midstream, and it's like, oh no, shut this down.
But if it was a video, it'll be okay.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Someone should make a streaming and like upload service specifically for like. Well, I guess there's like some big issues with like, but like I don't know, that's better because it's so hard to find something, because people will say like, oh, go to Twitch, but then there are people moving off Twitch, and there's not really that great of an option.
Yeah. We got to work what we got.
We do. It works out somehow. I did one stream on Twitch, and that went well enough, but I also thought YouTube streaming was going well, and for 2.5 years until I got my violation, so we'll see.
Hey, so you can keep it going. So you just probably have to watch out for earache, Century
Media.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, on Twitch?
No, YouTube.
Oh, I have a contact with Century Media. Do you know Brad? He's like a
Uh,
manager for.
Brad Seed, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But wait, your whole channel as a whole is good,
No, so
or do you have to send them each every single
yeah,
song?
yeah, I have to send him.
Yeah.
Although I feel like I did. Who was it? Isn't Signs of the Swarm Century Media?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
had
they're in
no
Century now.
problems with that video.
What?
No problems. It was
Hey, yo, Brad, I'm finna hit you up because my other one got blocked.
for Signs of the Swarm.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, yeah, Brad is incredible. Brad is
Yeah, he's
such
good.
a
He's really
gem
cool.
to work with, and
Yeah.
is fast as hell too. It's really, I love Brad. I could talk all day about how amazing Brad is. I would definitely hit him up and see because he's just awesome to work with as a content creator.
Yeah, me and him talk. He always send me like new releases. He'd be like, "Keem, you gotta check this out." I'm like, "I got you." And then he'll work his magic.
He's got the magic touch.
He does.
I wish I knew someone. Spine Farm, I think, hates me.
We don't mess with Spine Farm.
No, we don't. I've
We
been
don't mess with Spine Farm.
at this point, every time someone asks me, because what had happened was I had my Sleep Token reaction, my full album video up. It was blocked for like an hour. It got unblocked, and I was like, sick, because PR sent it to me. I got the album 3 weeks early, and they asked me to make the video. So I make the video, it gets blocked, it gets fixed, but when the claim is still pending, but it's up.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was up for 3 weeks. It got like 70,000 views or something like that. And then they rejected my claim and removed my video.
It was like, we don't like what you're doing here.
Yeah.
It was like, you're getting views, monetization. We don't like it.
Yeah, it's like they were already taking the monetization.
Right.
What is the
It was like,
problem?
nah, we don't like it.
At this point now, whenever anyone, because people will still tag me in tweets, and it's been down for I think longer than it was up at this point by far, and people will still tweet at me and be like, "Hey, where did your sleep reaction go?" And I just reply and I tag Spine Farm, and I'm like, "Spine Farm took it down."
It was like, yeah, we changed our mind.
Yeah, because I'm just like, well, I just don't understand the point of that. I can understand like the monetization stuff, but the full block, like nobody does that anymore. I don't even think Sumerian does that anymore.
Yeah, Sumerian and Fearless have got away. They don't really do that anymore. So I'm like,
Yeah,
good.
Fearless
Great.
actually reached out. Did you get reached out to by Fearless about the plot in you?
Of course.
I
Yeah,
love that.
Yes. I was like, hold on. I was like, you thought about me?
Yeah, I love that because it really does. It's not to say that like channels like ours are the most important thing for a band. They're obviously not, but at this point I do feel like it not only is it fun to make, and it's super fun to talk to a bunch of people who also are interested in the same thing as you, but I am constantly getting comments, and I'm sure you even more so, of people being like, oh, I never heard of this band. And sometimes it's a big band too. You're like,
Talk to him.
how did I
That's right.
I'm so glad I could show you this band. I didn't think anybody would not know this band. But with how many things that how it is, like the subgenres are so close together that sometimes you tap into an audience of people who don't know some of the bigger bands that we're going to cover and stuff. So it helps some, at least. More, I can't see a way in which it would really hurt. It's not like we're like, hey, I just my name's Rachel, I am in the band Era, and I actually just wrote this song myself called Pale Iris, and all the money is going to go to me. I made some bootleg merch that you can buy, and like, that's not what's happening. It's just
Right.
word of mouth, pretty much.
I think that's what they're now realizing, because I think so like post COVID, they really just hammered down, and I think during COVID, especially because we were just stuck home, all we had was time to make videos, and they're like, wait a minute, these reaction channels are actually helping us out. So I guess now they always start to reach out now and be like, hey, got, and it was like, hey, reaction channels are actually helping us, getting us more money, because let's be honest, that's what it boils down to with these record companies, what's gonna make them money. and they're like, if we send them the songs for free and they just put it on their channel, boom, revenue.
Exactly.
By the way, they every time they send it, for people who don't know, every time they send us these videos, they claim it, but they just don't block it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's a transaction of goods, especially
Yeah.
getting stuff early. I feel is such a bonus because sometimes I'll see something come in that I'm like, run to the computer and like film this right away. I need this
Yeah.
in my ears. And then you cover some stuff that's, new to you or whatever. It's like an exchange of stuff. But I completely agree. It was like COVID was the turn. Honestly, I have no idea what being a content creator was like before COVID because I started my channel during it. So,
Right.
but oh no. So, sorry for the technical difficulties. I will edit it to make it smoother. We were talking about how I started in 2020. You were making content at that point. You,
Right.
Bobby, making content. Have you ever had to replace Bobby?
No.
Wow.
So I had got a family member, his cousin Billy, but Billy's no longer with us.
Oh, rip.
Yeah.
What happened to Billy?
He went to another family.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like, I punched his head off.
Oh no.
I broke his spine.
we parted ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice of you to give him over to another family, though. Hopefully he's receiving.
They better be treating him right.
Hopefully. I love the merch.
Probably better than I'm treating him, but
that is quite a job. Oh yeah, so I told my folks on Patreon that I'd be doing this, and I asked if anyone had any questions for you, and somebody wanted to know if you have B new. This was the question of B new. He wanted to know if you have ever injured yourself making a reaction video, and I thought that was a great question.
Yes, multiple times, multiple. Yeah.
Wow.
So like, when was it? I think it was last year. I jumped off of my futon onto Bobby, and I landed on my knee. So, and it still affected me to this day.
The injury. Do you remember the song?
That's a great question. I do not remember the song. I remember the band. I have it in my head. Oh, but was it When Hell Ends? I'll have to find it for you now.
Oh yeah. Did you keep the footage in?
So it's in my my intros, my old intros when I did like the clips it, and you see me like jump off the couch, and I overlay it with like WWE. It was that video.
Oh my, that is like deep, hardcore KEEM lore.
Yeah.
I remember that your intro had like the windmilling and all that stuff in the street. Oh yeah, that was the or at least when I started, I'm pretty sure that was what the intro was when I started watching your videos.
Oh man, that's throwback. I do bring it back from time to time, but like I noticed that people will like click on a video and they'll watch it and be like, "What is this?" And then they'll like click off. So that's why I made my intro shorter. But I will bring it back from time to time. I love that intro.
Damn.
And ever since then, even moshing is like kind of hard for me now.
Oh,
I go to physical therapy, but
because that knee. Wow, that's a great answer to that question. I was like, maybe so many times we have such a different like approach to making video. The most injury that like happens to me is me punching this stupid mic all the time.
The good old, that mic is made out of steel.
Yeah, it is. The other day I was streaming and like I got excited and it like that like bottom piece of the arm like went right in between two of my knuckles and I was like
But you had to play it off though. You had to play it off.
You're like live, you're like, that didn't hurt. And then you're like a single tear, like, not at all.
Don't let them see the pain. Yeah. This is dangerous. People don't understand. This is dangerous here. The songs that they send is It's dangerous.
Sometimes it really is like that, and you cover a lot of ground with your videos. You do a really
Mm,
good job of, because a lot of times I'm watching your videos like I've never heard of this band, but I'm gonna check out what Keem thinks of this band, and then you've got the plot and you've forgotten and stuff like that. Do you have a hard time like picking what you're gonna do on the channel, or is it like in a stride now where it's easier for you?
um, so like I'll listen to it. Like if I react to it and I just don't like it, it won't even be on the channel. Because sometimes I'll just be like, nice, like, and I don't know, or like if it's somebody from like a band, I'll be like, listen, I really wasn't feeling it. Sorry.
I feel like that's a fair thing to do. I try to do the same to some degree. Although I do have a video coming for, and it's not like if I have more critiques than I do things that I liked about it, I usually will reach back out and be like, "Hey, this didn't really land with me. I'm not sure this is." And
Mm,
most of the time, they will be like, "Oh yeah, please don't post that." But
right.
for most of the bigger stuff, I've been enjoying it. Maybe some critiques here and there, but the new "Born of Osiris" track.
That boring thing. That saying is not even on my channel.
I made a video and I'm just gonna post it, but I like, it's fine. I would give it a fine out of 10. It's really nothing. It doesn't
Nine.
build
It's okay.
anywhere. It doesn't. It's got some cool synth and stuff, but I just
Ooh,
was going after Angel or
better than me.
Alien. I was like, this is gonna be huge, and I was like
That's what I thought.
watching it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what my reaction looks like. Probably just because I thought it was going somewhere, and it went.
Yeah.
It just did not.
I probably should start because, like, I ain't gonna lie, I like. So I was gonna do a video on that, and the whole time I'm like, this Born of Osiris. I was like, where's the breakdowns? Where's the solo? Like, what is this? I was like, this is a nothing sandwich.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much how I felt. And it wasn't. Sometimes I'll listen to something and I'm like, that is rough. That is like, and it's
Mm,
almost better to have it be like, this just is not for me. Sounds bad to me, than to be just very. I don't even know what happened with that one really. Like, and some people
mm,
I've seen that are enjoying it and say it's a grower and stuff. But
right.
at this point in time, there is so much stuff coming out all of the time that is just, and even with the track. So have you listened to the new Era track?
No, not yet. Is it
Okay.
good? Is it
I
grower?
I think that it's wonderful. That is
Okay.
not everyone's opinion. It's a divisive track. That's what I'll say. That won't spoil anything for you. But I think part of the problem is that when bands are putting out, there's a difference between putting out something. I feel, at least, like after the Burial, that track for me, it just didn't have a lot of what has made them special.
Right.
And it doesn't need to be some big crazy, like the craziest track they've put out every time. It's not
Mm,
necessary. But with a band like Era, I think everybody now, since self-titled and even before that with Eye of God and stuff, I
mm,
think now they're expecting every track to be so
loud.
insane. Where's the
Yeah.
Gungrave riff?
Yeah.
Where's the Eye of God riffs? Where is
Mm,
Snowblood Part 2 breakdown and stuff?
right.
And I think that's bad. I think it's bad because it prevents people. Not bad for me. I could care less because I'm enjoying the song and I have it on repeat. But it makes
Mm,
it less of an experience for you. Like, you're not able to enjoy it because you're looking for. And it's obviously not everyone is gonna like everything, but people that like get really mad about opinions on, like, how
mm,
could you say this is good? What do you mean, how could I say it was good? It's literally a 15-minute video that I made on a 4-minute song. I said
yeah.
exactly how I could think that it's good. Like,
And
it's,
you still have questions. Why?
yeah. And like, people just being mad. I think like that. But then you look at, it's very interesting to me to see what is well received and what's not. And
Right.
I thought that I knew what would be well received or not. I was surprised to see people, because Silent Planet, Antimatter, absolutely. I saw your reaction to that.
Love
You
that song.
had,
That song
your face
slaps.
is so relatable on that first like drop when it's like super thick and heavy. You were
Uh-huh.
like, that is like
Yeah.
the exact And that was incredibly well received. I don't think I saw a single bad comment about that song, which is rare. There is always somebody, that is watching reactions to stuff they don't like or didn't enjoy. They liked the band, and now and I think that's fine too. Like, voicing your opinion when you don't like something is what you should do when it's in that context. Not that you should go to the band and be like, I think your new music is ass or whatever. But like, in spaces that we create and stuff, that's kind of the point and stuff. It's when people come in like, how could your opinion be different than mine and stuff, and like, I'm still constantly figuring out new thing. Like, sometimes I'll listen to a song, I will not be wowed by it, I'll post my video and people are like, song of the year, and I'm like, oh and then sometimes, like with the new Era track, don't get me wrong either, there were a ton of comments of people loving it, but I've never, in my time on YouTube, I've never seen a divisive Era track. I've never seen people saying some of the stuff that I saw in my most recent video. So
there you go.
That's what I'll say about it. No spoilers.
I got you. Hey, it's good to have conversation. It's like a lot of people didn't like the what was it, Ghost Inside new track, because they were singing in it. I liked it.
The singing thing is such like it's an interesting topic, especially as you delve into like deathcore and stuff. Some people are they're gonna find you if you put singing in their deathcore.
Oh yeah.
Then they're gonna.
They're like, you wasn't been singing before. Why are you singing now? I don't like this. This is the most terrible thing. This is the most top comment. Like, I always see, like, the singing killed it for me. It's like, what? It's like, why?
I can't. That's something I'm definitely not able to. Tastes are just such a weird thing to me. Like, and everyone is so different in how they listen to stuff and everything too. Like, for me, it takes, I don't even know what it takes for something to be an odd. I can't think of anything like that's comparable to the people who are like, any sort of singing. No, there is no such thing as singing that I like. My music will strictly have screaming. I just have never been that sort of listener. I listen to a lot of stuff outside of heavy music as well that just sort of like kind of leads into that. Like Post Malone's new record totally took me by surprise. Did you listen to it?
Of course. Come on.
I mean, I know. So the lore with Post Malone is deep as well. Like, he wanted to be in like a heavy band, and like what I think he even was, and is friends with some people in the scene and stuff. I saw a photo of him at a Drain show and stuff like that. But he like tapped into the emo-ness on this record. Yeah. I love it.
Good. Yeah, it's really good.
Not what I was expecting. Like, my favorite Posty tracks are much different than.
Is it from Hollywood's Bleeding? Your favorite ones?
So I really like Over Now the most, but I do like a lot of Hollywood's Bleeding too.
A lot of Hollywood's Bleeding that's a certified.
He switched it up, and I wonder, because I'm not that, like, I am very, very involved in the music that we cover in our realm. And when it comes to stuff like that, I just listen to it and I'm not as much involved in the dialogue. So I wonder if, because they have much bigger audience than probably any of the bands that we're covering. So I wonder if it's the same, where like there's a ton of people that are like, I can't believe you've done this to me. You've ruined my life by making this album and changing your sound.
I'm sure it's like that. It has to be.
Right? Like, I don't think it's just like, yeah.
I'm sure it's like you said, like Post Malone switching it up. Like, people complain if you switch it up for an album. I was like, why not?
At the same time, like, I feel like when you do a change like that, you also get a ton of new people in to replace those people that are mad. But those people are typically the loudest, that are like, I hate this and you ruined me. I will never love another artist again because you sang on this song or whatever.
That's good, because if you, like, say you broaden your sound, I think you can fit on more tours.
Bring me the
You know what I'm saying?
horizon.
Exactly. They can do shoot. They can do a whole deathcore set, or they can do their new stuff, which I love their new stuff. So wasn't they on? They're on tour with what's that band? It's like Dad. Not it's not Dad Rock. Well, I think it was Dad Rock.
Who is it?
Um,
Now I gotta
that's
look.
good. Yeah, type in Bring Me the Horizon tour recent tours. I know they did something.
Tour. Let's see. Give me the flyers. Oh, what is this? Did this already happen? Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
realize they toured with wow, they tour with everyone. They toured with Bad Omens, they toured with Static Dress. Oh, was it the
That's
Fallout
it.
Boy tour?
There you go.
Yeah.
If you that was Fallout Boy, put a deathcore band on Fallout Boy on a Fallout Boy tour. Does it mix? No,
Yeah.
but a band like Bring Me the Horizon, who's grown like crazy, can play their song like what was this? One of my favorite songs about them right now is like Lost. I think it's Lost.
Oh, that one is so catchy.
Is so it gets lodged into your brain.
Oh yeah.
That song is so good. They could easily play that on a Fallout Boy tour.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
And some of that post-human stuff, like it tapped into, like, there are heavy-ish moments, but
Mm,
the sound of it overall, when you like branch out your genres like that, it's sort of how I feel on a smaller scale. Bill Murray can do, if he did more like people added on, well,
right.
they're there now, it's not just Johnny,
Yeah.
but on their tours, then they could make like the weirdest lineups ever, and it would just work
It would
because
work.
you're like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what genre Bill Murray is. It's just
He's all
Bill
over the place.
Murray. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like,
just Bill Murray. It just sounds good.
yeah, because it would be interesting to see Bring Me the Horizon do a tour that's like a mix of both, like,
Yeah.
and then have a split set list because sometimes people get really mad about tour lineups too. Like, why is this band on the tour? This band doesn't fit the bill.
Exactly. So, I got this. So I've been every time I see like somebody say that, I like it kills me inside. So let's say you have all deathcore bands, right? I'm sorry, I'm like animated. You
Go
have
on.
all deathcore bands, right? Let's say you have Brand of Sacrifice. Let's say you have Lorna Shore. Let's say you have let's just start with them. You're gonna get the same amount of fans. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But if you add a band like a Void, you know what I'm saying? A band like Alpha Wolf and stuff like that, that's still kind of in the same genre, but not as heavy. Or you could throw Bill Murray on there. You're
Yeah.
gonna broaden that fan base.
It's
There's
smart.
nothing wrong with exactly. That's the smart. Like that's what they is like. If I go to a show and it's just all deathcore bands, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would not be able to do it at all because it's like, oh, another deathcore band, another deathcore song. You know what I'm saying? I was like, mix it up, please.
Uh,
After a while, listening to the same music, it gets tiring.
it's jarring.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's. I think it's really smart what Motionless in White did. Have you seen that tour? Alpha Wolf
Yeah,
and Knocked Loose,
knocked
being
loose. Yes.
Knocked Loose direct support is really
Yeah.
smart because I think that'll bring in a much different, because like personally I don't listen to much Motionless in White, but my best friend
Right.
loves them, so we will be staying to see their set, and maybe I'll be converted, but I'm not a huge fan of the style of singing
Right.
in the music. But the bill, like, who else is on it? After the Burial, I think
Yeah.
is in there
That's what
too.
I think is a perfect tour because you have many different levels, many different listeners that they can just consume new bands, find probably their new favorite band. So that's what I think is perfect tours. Those are the tours that really excel.
Yeah, because you're not gonna be, it's gonna be way more pressure on your streaming numbers and people finding you through however other avenues if you're not mixing it up like that, because there are some very, very stacked heavy tours that I love to go to, but I think it's like movements. I see movements on a lot of like, there will be like two heavy ass bands and then there'll be like movements in between. I think they've been on like a tour with Knocked Loose, stuff like that, where it's just, you're gonna get people coming in and checking out your music. Maybe some people won't check it out, but these are still, or like won't, not, they don't really have a choice, but maybe somebody won't like enjoy it and go home and download it and stuff, but you're getting people in that you would otherwise not probably be exposing yourself to.
Exactly. It's a palate cleanser too, you know?
Yeah. I'm getting old. I need a break.
Exactly. But like, all right, you know what? I've been moving around for these first two bands. You know, now it's time for me to chillax. And then it goes right back into the heavy. That's perfect.
Oh, yeah. Some tours, I mean, oh, yeah. I went out to Ohio last year to see the headlining run that Alpha Wolf did. And that was heavy as... It was like Body Snatcher, Vatican, like it was nonstop. And after the show, my whole body just hurt, and I was like,
you're like, ah.
Things like that. I think it's a lot of people being really intense about stuff now. It's the same as like a lot of the stuff that we've talked about on here. People are very intense about needing to enjoy every single thing about everything, or else like, you know, the world is ending now. Like, it's just...
It's right, like, relax. Like, it's all right. Just relax.
And I like, even if I don't necessarily listen to a band in my free time and stuff, most bands that I've seen on the like lineups like these, where it's a band I'm not really familiar with, they're fun to watch live. It's fun to check a band out through a live set for the first time, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a big rant from us about that, but I do think that it makes sense. I'll try to, we have been on for a minute, so I won't keep you too long. I have a couple more questions. One that I love to ask just anyone, because it's always what I'm wondering, but what are you listening to the most right now?
Soul Keeper's new album, Holy Design.
Yes.
Banger. Psycho Frame, of course. Banger. Good question. What else? From Joy.
Thank you. Where is the love for From Joy? Where is it?
That's a great question.
Where is it?
That's a wonderful question.
It is one of the most creative albums I have heard come out of like the last 3-4, maybe even longer than that years.
Slept on.
It is insane, like front to back. You have some crazy out there stuff, and then you have stuff like Of the Shapes of Hearts and Humans. What?
Yeah.
And then there's just no way that people are giving it a proper chance if they're not talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then it's like, do we want to give them the power of From Joy? That's what I was like, do I want to give them this? But like, From Joy's been on my channel, and people was like, oh, slap, this band is sick. I'm like, they're something special.
They really are.
Really something special.
And they can do a range of sounds like that. This album was very much like what I have been hoping for. I love It Lingers as well, but they did that one EP that has like one song that it's hard to say sounds like their sound on these last two records, because there is a big range, but then there's like some super like party sounding moments in it and stuff, and like they have a lot of fun making their music, it sounds like.
And that's what it's all about. That's why I always go to bat for these like local bands. I'm like, these local bands are killing these national acts right now. They're like just far better with their experimental stuff, and From Joy is just a perfect example. Like, oh, they're just so good.
They're insane. That was a standout rec. Oh yeah, Johnny Booth.
No, I haven't heard the new Johnny Booth. I heard one song from Johnny Booth. I think it was like 2 years ago. Me and Burb had collabed on that. That was the only Johnny Booth I heard. Is
Oh
fire?
my God. It
Yeah.
is. I think you'll fucking love it too because they bring it's not it's creative in a different way than From Joy's record is, but I think
Mm.
Johnny Booth and From Joy have like the two most refreshing creative approaches in a lot of it. Like it's hard to explain exactly how, but front to back that record is will kick your ass in the best way.
Awesome. I just added it to my list. I'm gonna check it out ASAP.
Yes, I think you'll really
Yeah, but I'm
dig
gonna
it.
check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, because from the song that I heard, it was really good. But I haven't heard anything since that. But yeah, I'll check them out.
They have some great stuff in their discography, but
Mm,
they leveled up with this album. Like they
yeah.
have a song Full Tilt is on that record. A lot of people prefer the latter to Full Tilt.
Mm,
But for me, Full Tilt has one of my favorite breakdowns of this entire year.
yeah, full tilt. There you go. Okay.
Yep, that one is
Johnny both.
crazy. Uh,
Okay. That's all you had to say.
Bam. There we
All you
go.
had to say.
Is there anything else that you're like big on listening to right now?
Um. Mm, 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 I think. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Some good
Yeah.
stuff. It's been a crazy year, so it's hard to like then be put on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I can look through the catalog.
Are there any bands other than the ones that we've talked about today that you feel like are underappreciated in the scene and that people should check out?
Besides from Joy, have you heard Fiends?
Okay, I have heard one song, and then
Listen,
people in my Discord server keep telling me, so I think I want to make a video for at least another one.
Fiends is
I'm gonna,
so like for some reason
I'm writing it down.
I just feel some type of way when I listen to Fiends. And I was like, "Who is that singer?" He's like, "My name is James." I'm like, "James, listen, I know you're in Florida, so you're kind of close. My boy, I'm gonna kiss you because his voice captivates me. I don't know why. His voice is just touches my soul. I'm like, he's such a good singer.
Oh, I'm
Like Fiends
interested.
is so underrated.
Fiends. Listen to Fiends. I'm gonna
Fiends,
listen to Fiends. I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna be like,
Fiends, you got to. Oh, I'm gonna tell you the song. I'm gonna tell you the song. All right.
yep.
So, do Fiends. You're right. You're right. Do. Well, did you react to? Was it Terror Project that you did? I mean, Terror Projector.
Let me see. I can tell you because it will be watched on YouTube. Fiends. I did Rhino Beach,
Mm.
and I believe that's it actually.
Terror Projector. Do that one,
Terror.
and you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, Keem. I see what you mean." Like
Like, shout out to KEEM.
it's yeah,
Okay.
so good.
All right. The more you know.
Um, there's Fiends. There's Grieve, also from Florida. Um, Not Enough Space. Have you heard Not Enough Space?
No. Oh, I'm taking notes.
So people call them like modern day not Attack. Ask Alexandria. It's two female vocalists. They slap. They're so good. They bring back the crab.
I'm
Not Enough
listening.
Space. You
Okay.
got it.
I'm gonna put a crab next to it instead. No, I
Yeah,
can't
crab.
try it. I'm gonna put a star in my mind. It's a crab because I
It's
can't
a
draw
crab.
this shit. The star is easy. Okay, those are good notes to
Yeah.
have. I'm gonna check them out. Another question before we wrap up because I
Mm,
feel I get a decent amounts of DMs and sometimes comments and stuff of people like, oh, I want to start a channel, but blah,
mm.
blah, blah. Do you have any advice for people who may be watching who are thinking about starting a channel or want to?
Just do it. Like, do it. Like I told this story millions of times. I got my first 10,000 subscribers with a phone, this laptop right here, this laptop, and I still have my original tripod. I got my first 10,000 subscribers literally with this. I was recording I was recording with this phone, and that's how I got it. I just synced it up. Just start. There is no reason to not start. There's no, oh, I'll do it next. Why? Do it now.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much uh, potential that you don't know that you have unless you do it. That's exactly what I did,
That's
and that's
really good
exactly what
advice.
Rachel did. And look how she growing.
And I waited on it a long time. And that's usually what I tell people too is like if you're even have the smallest amount of like wanting to do, and not it doesn't even necessarily have to be a channel like this. Like anything
Mm,
that you are passionate about that you could see yourself connecting with other people over, there are probably other people waiting for that content. Like I
yeah.
thought when I got onto YouTube, I was going to be like it was going to be real bad. Like it was going to
Mm,
tank. People are not going to dig my style because
yeah.
my main channel that I was watching at the time was yours, and I was like I love this, but it's not me. Like I'm not going
Right.
to I
Take it
can't
right away.
yeah, I was like this is so cool cuz your videos you can tell are very authentic, I think. And that's really admirable because a lot of times you see like the wear and tear of like other people and stuff like
Mm,
kind of wanting to bend to some sort of thing that people want them to do differently. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see if at the end I could talk about these songs and I could just
mm,
vibe to them when they're on and just like not have to worry about. I pretend the camera is not there for the most part.
mm.
And it just worked.
Yeah, well, that's the like perfectly well said. And I know people will be like, "Oh, I'm camera shy." You'll get over that in like within like a week. Like at first you're like, "Oh, the camera's on," like, but you'll get over that super quick. Um, just put out the content because you do not know where your videos will take you.
And it's true.
And
And
look at me. That's just it. Like
yeah,
I probably would have never been
thriving.
in Browning if it wasn't for my videos. So I appreciate you guys watching though, but you know, your videos can take you to places you couldn't even imagine.
That's incredibly true. And I feel like me, I was so nervous about the camera thing. I was like, I'm just like,
Mm,
I don't want to be in front of it. And it kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone to where, like, I have always hated with a passion. I
mm,
have avoided projects with public speaking in school and stuff. Like, I just hated it. And then
mm,
starting my channel has made me better at like talking to people. It also pushes me outside my comfort zone because, like, it's a rather like niche community, so going to shows sometimes there's usually people like at least a person or a couple people who have watched my videos and will be like
right.
Rachel, and then I have to be social and I can't just be
Yeah,
like
you're like, oh, you're like me.
yeah.
Yeah, like I still like it's still like I still get like kind of nervous when people are like you KEEM, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? How you doing, man? You know, but I'm like, like always that's the crazy thing is being spotted in public because you're always behind like a camera and it translates to out there, and it does help with being more social,
it's
but it's a good thing though.
I bet yeah, you get a lot of people that like will say hello to you and stuff in that
Yeah,
setting.
so one of the weird ones was someone took a picture of me, sent it to me on the DMs. He was like, "Is this you?" I'm like, "Yeah," but you could have literally just walked up
Said I
and
wow,
said, "What's up?"
that's
It's like, and it was at a bad angle too. So I think I was like eating.
did you so dirty.
You're right, it's right. Like out of all things, like you could have literally just walked up and said hi. I would have been like, "What's up?" Don't be afraid to walk up to Rachel as well. Tell her say hi, and be ready to answer. What's your favorite video? Always gotta test people. I
Oh
always do that.
damn, do you? I
They're like,
usually
oh, hmm
I just get like so I'm like me oh
that's
what.
why I do it because I don't know what to say after, and they'd be like, oh, I've been a fan for a long time. So like usually after that, I'd be like, oh, thanks, appreciate it. So now I'm like, what's your favorite video?
It's
you know,
something.
yeah, and talk a little bit about that, and then be like, oh, really good meeting you, and then yeah, then we go off that ways.
It is
They're
kind
like,
of
I'm gonna
difficult
put a spot.
because you're the person behind the camera. So then they're like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, I know you." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
same. Like I know me to the high. Like
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man, I've had some
Yeah.
rough ones, some real rough
Yeah.
ones where they probably walk away and are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. But like, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Yeah.
The first time it happened to me, I was like, how weird. How weird is
Mm-hmm.
that? And then
Mm-hmm.
someone else came up to me and I was like, oh, and it was like right after, because I started my channel in lockdown and it grew quick. Like I never expected to have more than a
Yeah, you grew
thousand
quick.
subs. So in
Yeah.
my like in my standards and stuff, anything over 1,000 was like, whoa, like this is crazy. So then people, I never even thought of shows or anything because it just wasn't going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when I went to my first show, it just didn't cross my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
it was an era show actually. It was my first one, like my first real one back. And they like said the next song is Irreversible and it goes out to our friend Rachel Reacts. And
I
I
remember
just
that.
about died. I just
I
about
remember watching
passed
that.
away
Yeah.
and laid on the ground and just and like we were screaming because we were like, what the fuck? And then people were looking
Yeah.
at me like, who the hell is this girl? Like,
Yeah.
who is that? But it's just moments like that would not happen without starting a YouTube channel. It just simply wouldn't.
That's why
Start
if you're
your
thinking
channel.
about starting a YouTube channel, do it. Do it.
It's the best advice.
Do it. I was like, it's so easy because you got this beautiful thing called YouTube. You want to learn something? YouTube. Why are you spending money? YouTube. It has everything you need.
It does. Any problem you have too, it
YouTube.
somebody else has had the problem and
Exactly.
can show you how to fix it with
Mm-hmm.
screen sharing step by steps. Like
Yeah,
and
literally.
everybody is so welcoming in the community too.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all the drama that there's been about like, in the last few months about like how, some people saying that the community is not welcoming and stuff. And I couldn't disagree anymore. Like pretty much right away when I started my channel, both you and Burb had reached out to me and were super helpful. And like, I don't think that anyone in the community would like, screw you in your channel. I'm not helping you.
Right.
I just couldn't see
Right.
it.
Usually somebody like asks me a question, they'd be like, hey, I started this channel, like what do you use? Like I give them this whole outline. I'm like, all right, here, you want to do this? You want to put this? You want to put this? What's your OBS setup? And like even with you, I was like, are you using OBS? Like what are you using? I was like, we gotta streamline this, girl. Like we gotta get the content down. Like I'm always willing to help somebody because when I first started, FYM Reacts, shout out my boy Kevin. He's doing production stuff right now. I believe he's doing music videos. He helped me
Good for
out.
Kevin.
Brandon, it used to be AMB Reacts. Brandon helped me out. Randy, like those like my day ones. So.
And it's passed throughout people. I feel like the more people
Mm-hmm.
that get involved, I really don't know of somebody that we associate with in the scene that I would be floored if anyone were to react. Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes you miss it. If it's a Twitter DM, don't do it because I never look at that. Like the DM requests
I'm
and
never
Twitter,
on Twitter.
that is a war zone. There is some
Yeah.
alarming stuff in there. I just stay away from it. So don't ever
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram the message requests come up though. It may take me 6 months to get through all of them, but it's much I won't go into the Twitter DM requests. It's too scary.
Yeah, but like I'll try to answer all my Instagram, but like Instagram is weird because sometimes they'll just completely hide them, or they'll show messages from like 2-3 years ago, and then when you refresh, it doesn't update.
Yeah.
So I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever like an intentional thing of people being like, I'm gonna gatekeep this info from you because it's just never been like that. Every time I see somebody now at this point, like who is where I was when in 2020 when I was like coming up on 1 and 5K and stuff, I always try to subscribe, like their stuff, get them into the algorithm and stuff because it's just how it is. It's just how it is. It's been that way, and people do the same thing for me. Drew Drew Fortune, his channel has,
shout out to
Drew is amazing. Drew's channel has done incredibly well too. And as I was getting started on Twitch, he was like, anything that you need, you know, like you can ask me or whatever. And that's just like the attitude that I've experienced anytime I've interacted with anybody in what we do. I don't know the word. Realm seems so dramatic.
Yeah, it's not like there's great people like in the scene that's always want to help. I know Bird, homie Orion, Rachel, B, Drew, Bogdan.
I love Bogdan as well. I was just hanging out with Kingdom of Giants like last week or something after the show, and they were like, oh, we were talking to Bogdan, and Bogdan said, and I was like, it's just a...
Oh, Bogdan. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Bogdan.
We're all a family.
There it is.
Maybe a little dysfunctional, but we're a family.
Quite a family. Definitely. It's interesting. Everybody brings their own, like, you know, their own taste, their own flavor, their own style. And I think that makes it really interesting. And there's never any point where I'm like, oh, God, we can't have any more reactors. And like, that's not how it works.
So welcome one, welcome all.
That's right. I've been watching, there's a channel that just hit 5K today, and his name is Runty, and I really like his style too. I feel like that'll be a channel that comes up.
Never heard of that. Runty.
Runty's got some cool videos, and is in Drew's Discord server. I joined Drew's Discord server. Oh. The PR email for movements. Do I want to cover movements on the channel? The new interesting record. I don't know about that.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I just like,
Yeah, they understand because they will hit sometimes with like 5 records in one day, and I'm like, I will cherry pick from this.
Get to what I can. Yeah.
And
get to what I can.
I think that's what they definitely just have some like sort of blast list anyway. It's not like they're like you specifically. I was hoping you would.
No, they just hit that distro list and send it out.
They're definitely not like refreshing their email. Like, are you gonna no?
Yeah.
Well, that about covers the questions I have. Is before we go, what is upcoming for you? What is the best way for people to support you? What are you excited about? All of that good stuff. Let us know.
New Browning music coming soon. Rachel will be the first one to get it. Follow the Browning. You can follow me if you want. And
I'll put the link up here is what I was doing.
You better be subscribed to Rachel Reacts.
And of course, you're already subscribed to Hardcore KEEM.
That's right. No, you don't have to be. It's fine. But Rachel Reacts. Let's go. Wait, where you at right now?
Oh, Lord. I don't actually know. Let me see. 23.2?
30 on the way. 40 on the way. Hey, 50 by the end of the year. Let's do it.
That is a big one. I'm just happy to be here.
That's what it's all about. 50 on the way.
Thank you. Well, where are you at right now? You've got to be coming up. Let me see.
I don't even know. Where am I at? That's a good question. 56.
Coming up. 100,000 when? Deserving of 100K for sure. But I feel like there are things that can be done.
Like if I really wanted 100, I could get like.
And you and I.
That's easy.
It is, and you and I kind of, because I see your posts all the time, and I really like because what you'll notice when you include there are obviously big bands that I love, that you love, that we're going to cover on the channel, that we're excited about. It makes sense to cover them. But in between, the more you post like smaller bands or bands that you really like, those numbers, even the average of those starts going up. And you can see that baseline of people who come in to check them out. And for how I feel like we're both kind of like focusing on things, that to me is more rewarding than like a big jump in numbers, like real fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having those people that I know will watch my, I just found this band, and like it used to be like getting them up to 100 views was hard, and now it's like, the average like 400 or so, and I'm like, slowly but surely, baby, like an ice pick, climbing up with it.
It's gonna climb. That's something I'd rather do something like that for a smaller band than the bigger band, because it's let's be honest, it's super easy to clickbait a big band. But I don't try to. I love clickbaiting a smaller band so people click it. I love doing that, but I know that I could always, there's an easy road for me, but I don't want to do that. I like
respect.
Yeah.
And it's fun to find that sort of stuff. It's like, and kind of be able to have some sort of be able to help to some degree, because you're like, like I may not like, because when it's a big band like that, you're like, I'm putting this on my channel because I'm stoked about it, or like I really wanted to check it out, but you're probably not as, it's not helping them as much as the smaller band where you have the comments are like, never heard of them, gonna check them out. Never heard of them, it looks like they're coming to my city, I'm gonna grab a ticket. Stuff like that is important to keep the music that we love going. If people aren't buying merch or they're not hitting shows and stuff, there's not gonna be a band, because that's how they sacrifice a lot of stuff to be able to do what they do, and a lot of them work regular jobs on top of all this stuff, and it just I think we have the same kind of approach with that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with covering, like I said, we both cover bigger bands. I think covering what you want to cover on your channel is really the gist of it. Like that's the most important thing. If all the bands that you like are typically bigger, good for you. That's gonna do really well for you.
Hey, do what you want at the end of the day.
Amen. Well, thank you very much for joining me. This was a lot of fun, as I expected. Make sure you follow. I will put Hardcore KEEM's socials, his YouTube channel. All of that information will be in the description. Make sure you go show him some love. Check out some of these bands on his channel I've been talking about. He posts a lot of videos, a lot of bands that are lesser known. Check them out. I have found some gems by doing so, and I think you would too.
Thank you for having me once again.
You're very welcome.
We'll do this. This would be like a yearly thing.